Well, making it easier for workers to keep up their skills and stay ahead of the fast-changing economy. An expert panel is calling on universities here to work closely to offer cutting-edge modules on a common platform. It believes this flexible learning will better meet the needs of adult learners over the course of their careers.
The discussions revolved around three key priorities, including how to develop agile and resilient graduates. The panel suggests creating multidisciplinary teams where students from different domains of expertise work together. This will help give them the depth and breadth of understanding needed to solve interdisciplinary problems like climate change.
Complex problems require many perspectives and consider many views and factors in order to get to an optimal solution. And to have that many perspectives together, you need students and professionals to be able to come from their own disciplines and be able to listen to others.
The panel also urges local universities to consider new ways to collaborate, not just together, but also with SMEs on how to deliver more flexible lifelong learning to better meet business needs.
We need a new perspective whereby we don't just invest in the first 15 years of the school life, but we need to invest in the next 50 years of the working life. And we need to break down this artificial divide between study and work. In fact, we need a new, what we call a work-learn balance, to work and to learn at the same time for the 50-year continuum.
The panel also stresses the importance for universities to explore how faculty staff can refresh their expertise to keep pace with cutting-edge developments, and they can do this by working with international partners.
Even while we plan and provide the opportunities for growth for internal prospective leaders, it's also very important for us to always be looking externally, and that includes internationally, because we are a small system and it is important that there is injection of new ideas. So the mix of internal and external is, I think, quite an important part of creating a stronger ecosystem.
And for a more in-depth study on this issue, we have with us Professor Lily Kong. She's president of Singapore Management University and also a top academic. Professor, you have this tough task of overseeing education in SMU. What do you see as some of the biggest challenges for universities right now and going into the future?
So first of all, thank you very much for having me this evening. Indeed, there are many challenges that confront universities, and in this very complex and volatile world, there isn't one single challenge, but multiple challenges. Take technological disruptions. They are disrupting so many industries. They're as well disrupting education. The changing nature of the economy, the changing world of work requires that universities respond to that and be able to prepare our students better for the world of work. At the same time, the fact that the world is confronting so many complex and challenging global conditions suggests that the kinds of research that universities do should hopefully be able to address these challenges and provide some solutions. And that means that, research extends into innovation and innovation into entrepreneurship. So if I were to encapsulate the challenges that universities today face, it is the multiplicity of demands on universities and the need for universities to step up to them.
Now, as you've mentioned, technology is progressing at this breakneck speed that a lot of us have problems trying to keep up with. And when it comes to universities that's working with all these industry players, it's already happening. But what more should be done, to make this more relevant for adult learners?
So, the universities have been working with industry, but absolutely it is the case that we can do still more. Just a sense of how we've worked with industry, very commonly at the undergraduate level in terms of devising curriculum, we very often ensure that industry players are involved in giving inputs, if not in actually co-curating some of the courses. And in some of the courses that we deliver at SMU, they also co-deliver some of the courses. And I think we could step up on still more of that. At the same time, it's not just in the pre-employment space at the undergraduate level, but it is also in the continuing education space where it is, in a sense, relatively new territory to universities, even though in the last 3 or 4 years we've been offering courses for continuing education or in the form of continuing education. I think we're still in the process of learning how to do that better. One of the things that we found at SMU is that when we are co-curating the courses and co-delivering the courses with a company, and it could be a major player in the system, it is actually very much more attractive to the prospective participants who see that there is a good interweaving of academic knowledge and practical knowledge that then stands them in better stead for their next job, their next role. So in education, moving from just collaborating in the pre-employment or PET space to the continuing education and CET space. At the same time, I referenced the need for universities to be coming up with new ideas, with research, with innovation that can resolve and solve global challenges. There again, working with industry in research partnership is extremely important, both in terms of industry providing a perspective as to what kinds of research questions are critically important, but also for that research to have the depth and the rigor and the fundamentals well in place, universities can come in to work with industry. So whether it's in education or research, I think universities can step up and do still more. But I be the first to say that many universities in the local system and indeed in the international system are already doing some of it. It's just deepening that connection that is going to stand us in still better stead.
Now, you've mentioned that, universities have to constantly come up with new ideas. And I'm wondering, could one way, to improve lifelong learning be to give degrees expiry dates subject to renewal? And have surveys been done to see actually how receptive this idea is?
So I'm not sure I would completely subscribe to that. Degrees, if they do their job well, should not be about just providing knowledge and content and information, because a lot of that is actually available easily on the web these days. It really should be to hone critical thinking. It really should be to help students understand fundamentals that then can be applied in different contexts. And if we're able to do that, then those skill sets do not expire. They really should stay with us for life.
I'm actually quite pleased to hear that. Thanks very much, Professor Lily Kong from Singapore Management University.